So people don't realize that you have to have more than your completion. Like he had the insight of guiding me towards writing and completing the paper. This test series has helped me in all of them. It does affect you a lot. He'll give me insights, very important for the papers also. There's a very thin line between the content that you can write and you should write. So answer writing knows basically three areas that you can improve on. The one is content, second is presentation, and third is timing. So my name is Divyanshu. This is my third mains. This is my first mains with Anthropology, and I am Nataraj Sir's classroom student for test series, and also his Anthropology course along with the GS program. Regarding the program itself, the test series program has helped me a lot in my Anthropology journey. A couple of pointers here. The number one would be the number of tests that I've written. So 12 section tests and 8 full tests. And that too, so 20 tests plus extra that I've written for each, my specific tailored areas that I've, written for myself, like some, like I wrote on theories. So, the sheer volume of writing is actually quite a lot. And the full tests are also, not 3 hours long. The full tests are 4 or 45 minutes long. So, it's a long, like lot of writing practice, which gets used, you get used to this for the D-Day. And also, the focus on execution part is also there. Like it's just not writing something and giving the test. It's about the progressive learning from initial tests and what you've learned, and are you applying that into the final test. So there's a proper linkage in terms of knowledge translation. Another thing is that Sir's value add. The value add the Sir gives for each and every question is core. And it's very unique also, which has helped me a lot in the Anthropology journey. And finally, the Sirs, like obviously, Sirs connect and the personalized touch with the answering program has also helped me quite a bit. So basically, in terms of 3 areas, right? So answer writing knows basically 3 areas that you can improve on. The one is content, second is presentation, and third is timing. So a holistic perspective on answer writing. And this test series has helped me in all of them. More than 20 tests I already mentioned I've written. So, it helps with paper completion definitely. And you get an idea about how much you can write. Because the problem is Anthropology is that, there's a very fine balance between content and, what comes on the paper and completion also. You might know a lot, but actually, there's a very thin line between the content that you can write and you should write. And also completing the paper. So, the more you write, you understand, okay, I could have written this, but you can't write. But, then you also have to combat, okay, but I have to mention these points. So, very delicate balance between the content that you write and also the paper completion part. Sir made me do speed writing. Like he was from the beginning, he told me that, you have 35 minutes per question. You have to write 5 questions in the Anthropology option. So, 35 minutes per question, right? So, that comes around, like 7 minutes, 3.5 minutes per page and 7 minutes for 2 pages. So, you need to have a proper system in place where you're able to fill those pages in that allotted time. And, Sir made sure that, it can't be like, you're spending 40 minutes on one part and, the rest is, getting 30 minutes. That's also not a good approach to attempting the paper. So, like Sir helped me divide the time into like 35 minute slots of 5, right? So like 5 minutes basically. So this is how I approach the paper also, like 5-minute test. So these things help me, and also the speed writing that I did with Sir. So I have Sir told me that you need to write X number of lines in this much amount of time, and this is where it will be make or break. So like he had the insight of guiding me towards writing and completing the paper, because what happens is that even if you know a lot, finishing an Anthropology paper, see, anyone can finish a paper, that's fine, but to do justice to each and every part of the question with value add is not what everyone will do, and even if they want to do it, they won't be able to, because the hand is not accustomed to that level of writing. So Sir made me speed write, where he used to give me like daily tasks of writing X amount of lines in X amount of times, right? There used to be, I think, I used to write almost 1 hour sessions. So 1 hour, of speed writing every single day. Made my hand, accustomed to that or writing. Not only did it help me in anthropology, it actually translated into GS completion also. I was very comfortable GS in terms of anthro. Like I had no issue with GS altogether, or because of speed writing sessions. So definitely, this has helped me a lot. In terms of content, content-wise, the value that Sir gave was absolutely, top-notch, because I remember the myths question from theories, and also, the Jack Derrida question also came in the paper from the value-added material. So one of them I attempted the mythologics question of Levi-Strauss. So, very comfortable with those questions. Even, other the theories tests, had the psychological personality school of thought in terms of theories. And, Ruth Benedict question also came this year. So I was very comfortable with those questions. And same with your paper 2, the tribal question, question number 8, which came, this was related to mining. Like I had so much content for that, in terms of value add, those industries, PK Ghosh, LP Vidyarthi, a lot of, content I was able to throw. So, content wise, definitely more than enough, definitely more than enough. It's in fact, it was very hard to learn those value add. So yeah, definitely that was there. And in terms of presentation also, I, the testing helped me a lot, because Nataraj Sir told me to focus on, particular style of writing in terms of dimensions. Dimensions are the, couple of things, CCGS and all these things were there. And I remember that, that particular style of writing, writing, a uniform style of writing was there, you have to do scholars like this, you have to, underline this like this. And, that's how you, show what knowledge properly. So, lot of these things were there, and, and diagrams, definitely, my weak point was diagrams. And, he, helped me with the diagrams also. So, drawing how to draw proper chromosome, how to draw proper, Homo erectus skull, or Neanderthal skull. So these things, in all the 3 areas of, content presentation and speed, Sir has it covered. I think the benefits are, firstly, it is very unique. You won't find them, across your normal, material, or, mainstream material of anthropology, in your groups and everything. And, also, because I've been interacting with Sir a lot, the value add also very, very core information. The scholars that Sir gives, the the kind of value that he gives is very, very it across the person who's checking the paper, because it's very, very it's mainstream in their whole system. Because as students we think that this is what is important, and some names come up. But if you think in terms of in perspective of the person who's checking the paper, I think from that angle Sir gives cutting edge value add, right? He'll give you exact name which they would be accustomed to. Okay, he's introduced this, so I think it's very important that way. And of course unique also. And and the value add covers a lot of it does cover the core syllabus also, because I remember this year also value add, the Sir gave value on postmodernism. That question came, Jack Derrida deconstruction, straight away from value. And you also have that ILO question in paper 2. I think Sir properly mentioned also okay, so ILO, I think it was 169, and he mentioned that India is not signatory to this question, and they asked also properly, and he told that India signed the, I am not sure right now, I think it was 1957, 107 something, Convention 107 in 1957 India signed. So these things help me a lot. I'm pretty sure that I don't think anyone knows about these points, and I've written them. So these value add points are very, very helpful in terms of elevating your answer to another level. And also that value add and also Sir gives a perspective on why it's important, because in the end it's a scaling exam. You have to be in the top 1 percentile. That is what will give you the marks. Even if you answer the questions to the best of your ability, if they're not in the top 1 percentile, your score will range in the lower ends. So he understands this perspective, and the value add is oriented towards this whole idea that you have to be in the top 1%. So I think this is where where I think this is extremely helpful in terms of the value add content as service. think the biggest takeaway from Nataraj Sir test is that I think the number of tests that he makes you write. I mean, it's actually quite a lot. It's brutal to a point, to be very honest, because you have to write a 4 or 45 minutes test also as a full test. So the more you write, the more you remember. And another thing is that basically, if you understand a knowledge perfectly, it will translate in your paper. If you don't, it won't translate. So you keep finding gaps in your understanding also. If I'm not incorporating, let's say, postmodernist idea, right? Like maybe if I'm not incorporating binary oppositions, then I've not understood the concept. Sir would point out, why haven't you introduced a scholar like Clifford Kurtz in terms of interpretive anthropology? Why haven't you introduced Victor Turner, symbolic anthropology? Why haven't you used binary opposition by Levi-Strauss? So these things also increase your retention rate. And of course, the more you write also, the more you start to think in terms of what I've written, why I've written this, how can I improve this, could I have brought in something else. So these things work in a feedback loop. And also with the constant interaction, Sir helps internalize these ideas in a much simpler form. So it becomes easier and easier every time you write the test, revise again and again and again. And definitely you do feel like, okay, things have internalized for me quite a bit. In addition to that also, you have basically Sir keeps certain calls with you, because he gives you value, and it's not easy to internalize those. It's hard to internalize that value, because you don't come across them into mainstream listening. It takes time. So Sir took time, and he is on call with you and trying to help you retain that again and again. On the calls every single day, ask you there will be sessions, he'll quiz you on the value add. And then after that also, he'll keep asking you about the value add after a couple of days or something. So you have to be on your toes with the value add. So he'll help you retain more also. And another thing that is very crucial here is that that Sir helps you with the mapping exercises, because what happens in test series, there'll be X amount of, let's say you target maybe 2 value add per page, or maybe 3. So you have to, after you write the test, you have to map it. How much of the value add has translated on the paper. Map it out, and then see and brainstorm. Okay, what could I have done more? Could I have introduced X? Maybe could I have introduced a scholar for karyotype analysis? Is there a scholar for that? Could I have used LP Vidyarthi for maybe industrial problem in the tribal question. So these things we would help you increase the amount of value add that you incorporate in the paper, and also help you retain. So I think these very, very important exercises are very, very crucial for you to incorporate, translate the knowledge onto the paper. Definitely, I think personalized mentorship is an understatement with Sir, because he genuinely has put in a lot of effort from his side in terms of a lot of areas, because trying to elaborate on these things, first of all, we used to have a call every single day, and he used to go into details, right? And it was very personal in the sense that we used to every single day he'll talk to me, he'll ask me, he'll help me strategize for the paper. He'll give me insights, very important for the papers also. Something on the lines of maybe, okay, did you do speed writing today for anthropology? I would say no, some don't. And he used to tell me no. I had a student who could not complete the paper, and that's why he suffered. He had every single thing. These kind of insights are very important. They'll put you on your they keep you on your toes basically. And of course, in terms of every single place, every day calls were there, during the paper, before the paper, during that 1 or 2 hours also, I had call this Sir regarding the paper. This level of detail is what Nataraj Sir brings with him. And of course that and the more effort you put, the better, the more you will attention get, definitely, because he will reciprocate with your efforts. And in terms of maybe solving, because I remember a case when the primates, the standard question of that the tertiary and quaternary fossils question, so I was taking some time, so I had a call with Sir, so immediately just in one, let's say, okay, no, just put in this, that, you don't have to put in that much effort. You'll just remember the core points, and it just made me more confident, and also reduce the stress level also. So I was able to finish off the topic, and people take maybe 6 hours also for the whole topic. It's very, because it is complex, right? There's so many things in this question. So you just get done with those things, give you a sense of confidence also. So I think it has been extremely important. And in terms of, I also remember this incident where I was not able to change my presentation style. And sir gave me some tips on how to make it more appealing, and I tried to do it. And I was like, sir, this is like I'm not, this is not happening right now. He was there and he told me, this will happen. This is your personality trait and everything, because he knew me that well. That he was able to guide me also personally. Like, no, just keep at it and don't think on these things. You're wasting your own time and my time also. Just do it. I was like, okay. Then eventually, the very next test is like the very next test, itself I caught on it. The whole, so like he will get to know about you also, like how you are, that habit. So that's why I said it's a personalized understatement. It is a proper, how should I put this? It's like a summer camp. So like you go there, you actually are like with a proper trainer. He is a proper trainer. I think this is the right word. He is a proper mentor / personal trainer for your anthropology journey, definitely. And he will tell you which exercise you have to do, and he will make sure that you will do them. So definitely very, very important and very approachable. Like, he is like a friend to me in a lot of areas actually. Number one is that the game of option. The key, very important to understand that it's not about writing a good answer. It's about beating the competition. The sooner you realize this, better, because in the end the top 1 percentile get a certain score, even if you have attended all the questions. But if they are similar to the competition, right, you will still get a low score. So people don't realize that you have to have more than your competition. That is the reality. And you have to put your focus on value add, because if you have the basic level stuff also there, your score will not go above 240 or 250 also, definitely. So he like told me this initially only, this is the game, and you have to go for that. Second thing is also that that he told me about properly about that said that scaling effect also. That disproportionate gains that you get from the higher you are in that percentile, the higher your score will be in the end also. Like, that's how the UPSC scaling mechanism works. Very important to understand that, because even 1 or 2 marks in the beginning, like they translate to a huge margin by the end of it. So he explained properly about the scaling mechanism. Person is getting 200 base score, another person 220. That will not translate into 20 mark difference, that will translate to 40 mark difference. So you have to fight for these extra marks, because that will boost your score not by 1 mark but multiple marks. So definitely that is there. And of course the part of finishing the paper. Finishing the anthropology paper is definitely one of the hardest tasks anyone will face. See, not in terms of just finishing the paper, but like properly with justified content. It is actually very hard. So that insights on you have to focus on speed writing, answer writing, like practice. That is a big game changer, because it's very hard to finish the paper. And also that that inertia of exam, like writing a test is also there, because it's a huge option, is a huge syllabus, and very hard to be like, okay, I'm done, let's start the paper. It doesn't happen. You always feel like, oh no, I'm forgetting this, oh no, I'm forgetting that. So you have to break the inertia, and Sir was there to break it again and again. I mean, the full test, I remember I was giving full test every alternate day. Every alternate day I was giving paper 1. So on Monday paper 1, or Wednesday paper 2. So it put me in that zone, like where I'm very, very thorough with the material. So and this is what will happen in the final day also, in those 5 days. So it will just keep you at a good state of mind, and at a good level also, where you are able to translate a knowledge into the way. In addition to that, I think the volume of writing that Sir makes you do has also a huge impact on, because the more you write, the better you get. So that breaking the that whole idea of perfectionism. So that was properly broken for me. Definitely, that I was writing tests again and again, and that helped me a lot. Definitely, it helped me because it's a big difference. The knowledge that you have and the knowledge that get translated on the paper, it is completely different. Like you think you will write it, but without practice you won't. Like it just cannot happen. Like he used to give an example of how cricketers practice a certain ball, like a short ball. It's like practice it again, then apply it in the main test. So he will give me assignments on draw the diagram, and I used to draw like multiple diagram. Then in the final test, it used to happen. It won't happen. Just like I'm just reading some diagram and I'll put it. It won't. You need to have a proper like a practice scene going on behind, where you're practicing the whole that part of a question, and then you start incorporating that in the paper. So as I've already mentioned, the couple of core points are there. First is that it's online, right? From anywhere you can just just get the tests and write it, and you'll have a session sub. Second is the level of personalization. As I already mentioned, he is your personal trainer. So that level of and it's not just that he just gives a paper check and you just have a brief call. Like it's actually at a point where he will try to not only guide you but also take you to a level where you're able to incorporate that addition. I think that extra edge is what is the X factor. Because in a normal test series, you would get the information, okay, but here you not only get the information, but you'll also be trained to incorporate that in your paper with like a proper personalized touch with those frequent everyday calls and everything. And the quality of question is top notch, because I remember that that postmodernism question and your even structuralism question came directly from the test series. And lastly, the number of tests, more than 20 tests, more than enough for attempting the anthropology option paper. In addition to all these things, it's also the help is cutting edge. Like it's proper cutthroat, like to and fro, because I think so. You will get feedback as soon as possible, and and that too maybe on the same day also. And it really helps because you have a personalized touch with it. It's not that you just write an answer. It's just that it's done. No, it's like you will be asked those core questions. How many of the feedback have you incorporated? Why haven't you incorporated? All these questions on a daily basis you have to face. One of those things are definitely there, and also that there is a different personalized touch, as I mentioned, because Sir would be there not only in terms of anthropology question, but also in terms of your everyday life also. Maybe he'd be a proper friend to you. In terms of the stress, prep, those normal questions that you have every day. So he'll be there, and that also is a good psychological boost for any person who's writing the exam. Definitely, it covered the whole length and breadth of the syllabus, as much as possible. See, nobody can predict UPSC questions. That is a reality. Nobody can. But the fact is that are you able to, get the student in a state where he'll be in the best condition to answer. So, that area, where you see a question, oh, what should I write in this? So that test series brings here, because, you will not get straightforward question in the real paper also, definitely. So the question, cover whole length and breadth of the syllabus, and the questions are tweeted in a manner which you like, I haven't seen this anywhere. So, that readies you for the actual exam. That is the reality. Second is, a lot of questions also do directly come from a test series. Because remember the postmodernism question came directly from the Jack Derrida question. And, structuralism question also came, Levi-Strauss, in the paper. You have your Ruth Benedict question came. Even in biological anthropology, so many questions came. The karyotype came. And, the 10 markers came, twin studies. So, a lot of questions are going to come from the test series. And, I mean, if you do justice to those 20 tests, then, you don't have to worry about anything. It is more than sufficient, provided that, you do justice to the material. Because I personally, I've done, try to incorporate all the courses or value. I've done, try to do everything. And I think the course is, legitimately, legit, more than for anyone.
First is, test itself, the number of tests that I have to write. I mean, you're sure that, like very few people have written more than you. First. Second is, Sir has the experience of, teaching and checking anthropology papers. So when he reads a paper, he will give you a good, like a ballpark figure of, okay, you are floating towards maybe 250 to 80, 300, whatever, that is. So and you can believe those, that idea, because he has been in this whole, anthropology industry for a long time. He knows exactly what he's talking about. So, and obviously, he has those, and of course, you have these basically other areas also where he mentions, all the other value adds and, all these extra additions that he incorporated in those answers. So, that, nobody's writing these in the paper. For example, I remember for karyotype, he mentioned Johin Tijo for, as a, so, these scholars won't be there, like in other papers. So I know that. So, these areas, you get more and more confident and it becomes better for you. So after the essays, I was, and of course, Sir is there as a personal mentor. He will, tell you, okay, everyone is scared before the exam, and he will also tell you, you don't need to worry, man, because you have, like done whatever you can. So I think it was very helpful. So I think a very important area to cover, because everyone is facing issues in mentally while writing the exam. Definitely, I mean, I know, because I've spoken to so many people. It does affect you a lot mentally, for sure. So much riding on you. You're at that age also, very crucial age, 25, 30, whatever. It's a stressful period, and the nature of the exam is very stressful. So, what helped me personally, was that, I surrendered to Sir's advice completely, because Sir makes you do so much, right? I was like, I can't do more than this, end of story. Can I do justice to this? Yes. And it took all my energy, right? So, I was like, if I can do this, and, Sir has a good track record also, right? So I was like, if I can do this properly, that's about it. And, I used to do the same thing only. I used to spend my whole day in the library doing what Sir has given me as a task. And the other day, I was like, I can't do anything more that day. And I used to be completely free. Even during mains also, I've enjoyed with my friends. Definitely. I used to do my, on the weekends, I used to go, chill with my friends. Definitely. Because, like, I've done what I could during the day. I've completed my tasks. I used to be, and the tasks are not easy to complete. Definitely. There's a sense of, freedom. And then, you can enjoy life also. So, yeah, that happened. And also, a level of, I mean, it does free you, because, someone asks you, how's the GS prep going? There's no definite answer to this question. Like, what can you tell them? There's so many areas and parameters: answer writing, current affairs, newspaper, past notes, this, that. So, I always felt, what should I say? How is my GS prep going? And, you say it's going good. The paper is so dicey that, it doesn't matter, right? Because in the sense, the paper is very random. If you see the GS 123 paper also, it's a paper which, you can't be like, yeah, I started from this, it came like, no. So what I personally found helpful that, I was like, I would do this only, and I am satisfied whatever comes in, and I am doing this. I used to tell my, close members and all these things, like, if they ask me how is this going, I'm like, I am following each and everything that Sir has given me. If you have something else to give me, please tell me, because I don't see any other way to go with this. And they used to be like, yeah, we can't. Like, I think this is more than enough. I'm like, yeah, so my GS prep is going good. So, mentally you're more better off. I would not only recommend a test series program, I would also recommend the GS test series and also the anthropology course. And I mean, definitely like a very good decision I've made. Reason is, completely because if you follow the program diligently, genuinely, I mean, you would be satisfied with the effort. I think the biggest takeaway is that, whatever you do in those 3 months with this program, and, you will feel like, you have taken it up a notch in terms of preparation. I have not felt this way, in my past attempts. This time, I'm just, I think I've, just put in the effort that is required by this exam. And, these programs have, given an outlet to do the same. Also, I think Sir helped me quite a bit in, his personal mentorship, in the way that, after the exam on Sunday, like maybe I was trying to just go out and just cool off. But sir was there and told me, listen, you sit down and do your value add and all these things stuff. So I was like, sir, please, I can't do it anymore. So he's like, we had a conversation. We're like, no, sir, we reached a compromise also. Sir is flexible that way. He understands which state you're in. So he's like, okay, do the stuff that you have, that you have to do, and send me those pics, and then you can go. And I did it. Like I sat down. I had like a show on the side going on. I was trying to noting down the important stuff, and I finished the assignment. I submitted to sir, and then I went out with my friends to have a good relaxed session. So I mean, these things are very important, and this personal mentorship helped me a lot in this manner. Trust the process, right, and you leave it to the universe. I mean, that's all you can do. The more you think about result, the worse it becomes. I'm telling you from experience. Um, just as a process, and just do those parameters. Points, scholars, all these other stuff. Then I think that will genuinely be the fine advice.